Hey guys, my name is Ayo Teo, and I'm doing year-end 2017 rated from bottom to top. Not gonna waste any time, score of 0 to 5, let's go. This song kept dirt on my boots off of the year-end, and I can never forgive it for that.
From what I've heard, Keith Urban is just more pop than country these days, and that's really hurt the singles from Ripcord I've heard, especially Blue Ain't Your Color, which was essentially the country Treat You Better and was mercifully caught between years. This, on the other hand, is just kinda boring. I guess the guitar arpeggio is nice. That's an arpeggio, right? But that's all that song really has going for it. It's pretty much just a standard love song where Carrie Underwood is underused, and Keith Urban vows to be there for her even though he strikes me as pretty wimpy compared to the fire Carrie can deliver. It's pretty mismatched, but ultimately harmless. I mean, I guess.
If we want to get to the stuff that really is harmful...
Look at me, yeah, fuck on me, yeah.
Can I just cry, please?
I may have put this song on my worst list, but I didn't have any expectations that it would actually make the year end, and even though it's only at 99, it still eats me up inside that this kid had to put a permanent stain on music history. That sounds overdramatic, I realize, but now, I can't forget this, as badly as I want to.
But now that I have the opportunity, I want to stick it to X one more time with something that I wasn't even made aware of at the time that I made my worst list.
Remember Jocelyn Flores, the quote-unquote big hit from 17? Well, turns out X has even more contempt for this girl than he was even letting on in that song. Huge shout out to Andrew Prep for finding this on Instagram.
Well, XXX Texas Roadhouse posted this to his Instagram story after her death. He complains about a hole she left in his heart, and ends the whole post by saying, "I hate you all. I hate you, Jocelyn."
He basically gave a middle finger to a girl who committed suicide for committing suicide. Let's just move on to the next one so I can stop being angry. Never mind!
I first heard of Black Bear through Mansions, his collaborative project with our Lord and Savior Mike Posner. I really liked that album. I don't like this, though, and if I had expected this to make the year end, I would have placed this pretty high on my worst list. Around maybe number 5, actually.
I am so sorry, Katy Perry. Your song wasn't good, but at least it wasn't this.
If I could go back to that day we met.
This is so mechanical and ugly, which only accents the fact that Black Bear is being a huge dick to the girl he's singing to. You want to kiss off? Well, fine, but keep some damn dignity instead of doing a Sound of Music play on words that everyone involved should have rejected on the spot. Also, Black Bear's performance on this is just the worst. It's airy and insufferable, especially with the way he says girl. If this is what all this guy's music sounds like, I think I'm gonna stay far away from his solo stuff.
Mike, you are a saint for putting up with this guy and actually managing to make some great music out of it. We stan.
It's fine. Tolerable if a little incomplete. SZA sounds good, and it's got a decent groove. My only real complaint is that it's pretty repetitive and, well, incomplete. Still, easily the best Maroon 5 hit of the year. Easily the best thing Camila has done up to this point, and probably will ever do.
Also, this should have gone to number 1, and yet it didn't. That's kind of disgraceful, America.
Every day we lit, yeah. Every day we lit, oh yeah.
This is an actual song.
Can't wait to get that vodka run, put it on my arm.
Both of these guys had minor success on the charts on their own in 2017, but for some reason this was their quote-unquote big hit. It didn't even make the top 30, but it persisted for longer than I think anyone predicted, and it's completely forgettable. Not even the hook is that good.
I came up from nothing, nigga, you can't tell me shit, yeah.
Actually, I can tell you some things because your music is still painfully mediocre, and you're still a nobody. Both of you are.
I can see some appeal to this if I squint at it. It's energetic, both our performers at least sound like they're having a good time, but even in this year, you could probably do a lot better when it comes to party rap. I swear, none of these bars are even remotely worth remembering, and the chorus is only vaguely catchy.
Also, the beat has 4 watermarks throughout, so that's fun.
Joe, you're a genius.
Think it's a game. I think it's a game.
Wait.
She loves a small town boy like me.
Yeah, this is way worse than What Ifs. I don't know what I was thinking.
You get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it.
Okay, it grew on me.
I told you I don't hate Migos, and I guess I don't completely hate Gucci Mane either. Maybe.
I know that these niggas get sick of me.
It's kind of like he made this song to prove me wrong that he was painfully limited in his technique and delivery. And also the beat's catchy, Quavo's chorus is fire, and even Gucci himself has some great lines.
I do what I want cause I'm signed to me.
I do hesitate to call this a Gucci Mane song because Migos is clearly doing most of the work. You only have one verse in the song compared to the chorus and another verse that Migos has. Plus, your verse has this line.
Two bitches so fine that I masturbated.
Is there a reason you can't just have sex with them instead? Never mind.
I know I can treat you better.
The fact that this charted long enough to make 2 year-end lists makes my skin crawl.
I was too nice to this and leaving it off my worst of 2016 list. This deserves to rot in hell. Undoubtedly, you've heard countless people take this song down for its scummy writing and manipulation tactics. I even made a review of this explaining line by line why this song doesn't work.
Fun fact, I completely wrote, recorded, and edited that review all within the same day. And I think it's safe to say that I'm never doing that again, but I think it was worth it for the thumbnail that YouTube came up with. Kinda hilarious in hindsight, I think. If you know, you know.
It's a miracle this kid still has a career after this song, but as you'll see much later, I'm glad he does. But he's never going to live this song down, I guarantee it.
Yes, I love the Chainsmokers!
This is kind of a mess, and by that I mean it's a huge mess. The mechanical elements completely overshadow pretty much everything else except for Demi Lovato's performance, one of the worst she's given. Though I wouldn't exactly call it piercing, it just leaves me feeling empty that she's choosing to sound like this and not deliver the fire that I know her for.
Just be careful.
The cheat code Sky that sings opposite her, on the other hand, is just a non-presence and is not a particularly good singer.
And you probably never even heard this song throughout the year. I mean, I know I was surprised that it stuck around for so long and made the year end.
Yep, I've come to a decision. I kinda like this. Of course, this probably doesn't make any sense unless you watched that awkward review I did of this song during the brief blip of time it was relevant. Let me just put it this way. It's a weird, simplistic song with some strong melodies that make it stick in the brain better than you might initially expect. It's fair to compare this to Gold from 2016, but I like that song too. So yeah.
I never came to the beach, I stood by the...
Yeah, forget Dead Pets. This is easily the weirdest thing that Miley Cyrus has done.
2013 onward saw Miley trying to be shocking, all culminating into Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets in 2015. And now she's... normal again? Like, not quite squeaky clean Disney Miley, but normal. Also a little boring.
And I'm pretty sure that being both weird and boring is not supposed to be possible.
But I'd be lying if I said I didn't appreciate this at least a little. It's bright and cheery, even if Miley herself isn't very interesting on this. Not exactly something I actively seek out, and there is better in the indie rock vein that she's clearly taking inspiration from. But hey, I don't mind it. Adele is great, and I'm glad that she released this as a single.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times.
Airy Best 1D member, hashtag the bullet.
Hey, slippery, whoa, excuse me, please me.
Admittedly, upon repeated listens, I can see some appeal of Gucci Mane's verse on this song. Like, in contrast with Migos, he's slicker and a little more sensual. I mean, I guess. That's what he's trying to do, I think. I still don't like this song at all, but hey, I guess it's not hurting anyone.
Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah.
Okay, I lied. Ty Dolla $ign is actually really good on this.
Champagne poppin', she gon' swallow.
One of the single best moments in pop music this year, holy crap.
What about us? What about all the time?
So, fun fact, I was originally planning on doing a double review between this song and Kesha's Praying back for my November 2017 review, before it got replaced with the country video. And when I tried to write it, I hit writer's block.
I just wasn't at all motivated to talk about this song in particular, mostly because it lacks substance. I can see the appeal of a song where Pink feels cheated and is looking for some sort of closure, but not if it doesn't do anything to really stand out. For a song that's about overcoming something, there's a surprising amount of empty space here where nothing's happening. No vocals, no interesting melodies, no power, just white noise.
It's generic in the writing too, my god.
We have problems that want to be solved.
Say what you want about Thunder, that was actually about something. This is vague in the most confusing way, complete with an odd reference to selling slaves.
And you sold us down the river too far.
Which doesn't really have anything to do with anything.
Got so many felonies, I might can't never go to Canada.
I've been conflicted between putting this in the meh tier and the decent tier for a while, but my latest listen solidified it in the decent tier. This beat's not bad, being spacey and kind of menacing. Perfect background noise, I guess. Gucci Mane shows he can handle a verse on his own, like on I Get the Bag with some entertaining flows.
Fuck a challenger.
And Drake's chorus isn't that bad either.
I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk or I'm high, but I'm both right now.
His verse, on the other hand,
Yeah, I had a drink, yeah, I smoke.
I'd probably believe Drake saying that he was drunk and high when he did this verse. It's so stilted and doesn't go anywhere or relate to anything, and it's pretty disposable. Just like most of what Drake's done in the past couple years.
he was on the song to make Gucci Mane look good, and he succeeded, yeah, but for all the wrong reasons. It kind of makes me glad that this guy's taking a break, or at least it kind of seems like he is.
I didn't know that I was starving till I tasted you.
Hailee's annoying, the production is clunky, Zedd's drop is skin crawling, etc. Consider this a dishonorable mention on my worst of 2016 list.
Wrist so icy, wonder why she like me, bitch, I'm drowning.
While editing my worst of 2017 video, I discovered that this song is actually really good. Great atmospheric piano line that fits Boogie's cadence surprisingly well, and yeah, the lyrics dip into flexing quite a bit, but I think Boogie's wealth is smartly portrayed as both a blessing and a curse here. It helps him get out of dark times, but it also feels overwhelming for him to be in the spotlight.
And then Kodak comes in to ruin everything.
Just bought a brand new train from Havana.
I have no idea why anyone thought he was a good idea for collaboration on this on an aesthetic level alone.
But you all know the line, so I'll stop beating around the bush.
I'm the shit, I'm for it. I don't know how to party.
Without that verse, this song could have easily been a strong 4, possibly even a 5. But then Kodak had to fart. Screw you.
Why you bother me when you know you don't want me?
I haven't heard Control yet, and to be honest, I'm not interested in it right now. Sis is a good singer for sure, but this just isn't for me. The production is cluttered and unsexy, and Travis Scott just kinda breaks the mood by being incredibly dismissive.
This is probably a good song, but I just can't get into it. Sorry.
In New York, I merely rock, hiding in my socks.
This is an incoherent, odd, and stupid mess.
And I kinda like it.
Obviously, there's nothing profound going on in the lyrics, but this song accomplishes what it wants to do on an aesthetic level alone. The beat is crazy, Cardi's flow and delivery break pretty much every rule when it comes to trap rap, and even just rap in general, and yet it's really fun. I didn't like this the first few times I heard it, but then it grew on me. I feel like I shouldn't like it, but lo and behold, I kinda do.
I guess you can call this a guilty pleasure for me, even though I don't really believe in that term anymore.
While we're young, dumb, and broke.
Kind of a sleeper hit for me. Before this grew on me, I kinda thought I liked Khalid better as a guest vocalist on stuff like Rollin' or Silence, but yeah, his own stuff is still pretty great. I like how spacey yet full this beat sounds, and it complements Khalid's somewhat loose vocal performance beautifully.
Though there is one part that I can see being a bass breaker.
Yeah, Khalid's vocals kind of break at this point, but that never really bothered me. It's catchy, alright? At least I think it is.
And every time you hurt me, the less that I cry.
I've never been a Sam Smith fan, didn't like his voice, didn't like how dull his music tended to be, especially hated that Latch song with Disclosure, but I kinda like this, even though I can't really point out anything that he does here that's different from Stay With Me or Lay Me Down. Maybe the emotion feels a little more justified here, something about being guarded to prevent heartbreak. That makes sense, that's something I can buy this guy saying.
Okay song overall, but Pray was better. I would have killed for Pray to have been a hit in place of this.
Then you rolled in with your hair in the wind, baby,
Definitely the better of the Luke Combs songs that charted this year. It's a more straightforward love song compared to the Kiss-Off anthem When It Rains It Pours was. The melodies here are nice and sweeping, Luke Combs has an impressive presence, and the touches of reverb help accent everything in just the right ways. Not much else to say, it's a decently constructed pop country song, nothing overly special, but I enjoy it nonetheless.
You look right through me. You're the reason I'm alone and masturbate.
That word appears twice on the year-end for this year, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Before I even heard this in 2016, there was basically a meme going around my circle about how divisive this song was. Probably mostly due to that one line in the verse, and the repetition of the word low on the chorus, and just how utterly weird it is in sound and structure. Okay, there's a lot of reasons to not like this song. And yet, I don't know. It's weird, but also interestingly written and constructed. I'm just fascinated by this song and the human condition as a whole for its weird sounds, and just the unconventional moments in general. I'll just leave it at that.
Don't be afraid to catch feels.
Pharrell kills it, Katie's okay, Big Sean's entertaining, and it's good summer fun, but not the best on the album.
We're all chained to the rhythm, to the rhythm.
Rest in peace, Katie.
Do you slide on all your nights like this?
Best hit of the year, but you knew that already.
Whispered in my ear, she's trying to leave with me. Goddamn.
I unfairly judged this throughout 2016, and then it clicked with me pretty early on in 2017. And I'm glad I came around on it. Dram deserved better from me at the time, and he especially deserves better than to have his only hit only be a hit thanks to Lil Yachty. That's just not fair, man. I didn't say much about this song in the Maroon 5 video I did with Marcus, and that's mostly because I ultimately have little to say about it. The verses feel dull thanks to some flat bass tones and Adam giving his usual checked out performance. It does pick up a little bit on the chorus, but is ultimately just pretty pissy in an undeserved way. Not helping is the video where Adam goes to Future's house party to avoid his girlfriend, or wife, whichever.
Speaking of Future...
Trying to stay in Ali, saying that you need some time to breathe.
I said his verse sucked last time, but honestly I think he fits his instrumentation better than Adam Levine does. Plus he has this line.
Now you trying to cut me off like a light switch.
So yeah, now I think he's the highlight. Who'd have thunk?
I still don't like the guy at all, but I guess he can be tolerable in a song that actually has a budget, unlike most of his solo stuff.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich.
Creepy music done right.
I hope you're somewhere praying.
I have some explaining to do.
I didn't put this on my best list. I like it, but not as much as I would like to. A lot of people even thought that the intro to my #1 hit of the year was going to be revealed for this song, which wasn't the intention, but I can see where they're coming from. And I can definitely see why this has topped a lot of best lists. Kesha herself is absolutely on fire on this song, displaying raw intensity that I didn't think she was really capable of before.
Only God can forget.
The high note in particular is just... oh my god. But I think what holds this back a little for me is Ryan Lewis.
I have failed as this community's Macklemore stan, and I'm sorry.
Whenever I hear this song, I feel like the pianos need to let loose a little more, but the progression here is kinda stiff and just doesn't click with me as well as I would like it to. The big emotional moments where Kesha shows her pain work, due to years of mistreatment both physically and from a management angle, but the pianos don't entirely feel on the same page, at least for me.
This song definitely deserved at least a mention on my best list, and I just didn't give it. Sorry, but I guess what's done is done.
A lot of people, myself included, are probably going to overlook this song because of DNA and Humble, but yeah, this is good too. It's kinda hard to believe that Kendrick and Rihanna didn't collaborate before, but they play off each other surprisingly well. Rihanna in particular is able to keep up with Kendrick's style and delivery better than I expected. In hindsight, this might have been a sign of things to come with Lemon back in November. I mean, this still isn't as good as Humble or DNA, but, you know, recognize.
Passionate from miles away. Passive with the
things you said.
Yeah, I gave this song too much credit back in June.
It's an okay song, but mostly in contrast with the rest of More Life. It's still pretty sloppy, and the fact that the first minute or so is literally a waste due to pointlessly restarting the song just gets to me.
Yeah, wait a minute. Fuck that shit. Still on this motherfucking record.
But hey, it's tolerable. That's something.
Worst falsetto of 2017.
Run a man on that beat, ay, run a man on that beat, ay.
Worst flubbed rhymes of 2016, and I'm not gonna play the clips of them, you already know what they are. Also, stop calling dads ugly.
See, use a bitch, yo, almost probably switch.
Killer.
All I ever wanted was a rollie.
It still doesn't feel right that I like this song.
Bad things, funny as hell.
I kinda thought this would make my best list early on this year, but then I heard the rest of Aminé's album, and
With my niggas in my red Mercedes. What I really want is a Spice Girl. This is dedicated to my ex-lovers.
That wasn't nearly his best.
I feel bad for Aminé. I mean, it was clear from the beginning he was going to be a one-hit wonder, but hearing what else he had to offer makes me realize that we shouldn't have taken him for granted. Had he actually had staying power in the mainstream, he could have brought some much-needed diversity to hip-hop in 2017, but he has depressingly turned out to be a no-show after Caroline fell off the charts.
Let me put this into perspective. Caroline peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Aminé was named XXL Freshman for 2017. He has since produced no new charting songs, even on the rap charts, and his album only peaked at number 31 on the Billboard 200. 31! That album might as well not even exist at that peak.
This kid really did deserve better, but that's hip-hop, I guess. Still, just imagine a world where, say, Wedding Crashers, Heebie-Jeebies, or even Red Mercedes were hits in place, or in addition to this. Makes me wonder if we're living in the darkest timeline or something.
Needed Me wasn't that good to begin with, Halsey. Why did you feel the need to copy it?
All my friends are heathens, take it slow.
It feels surreal that Top had a song on the year end of a year where they released no new material. They produced a video for Heavy Dirty Soul, and I would have loved for that song to be a hit, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. Though I'm at peace with the fact that Tyler and Josh will probably not have another huge mainstream hit like this, Stressed Out or Ride. Really, I'm still kinda stunned that they had 3 top 5 hits at all, and that this in particular stuck around for so long.
In case you didn't know.
Aww.
I've been fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star.
This is the video, huh? You know, I thought I'd regret making my review of this song before the video dropped, but now I'm thankful that I did it like that.
This song hit number 1 for 8 weeks since I made my review, and it's still on semi-regular rotation for me, even though I wish it were more lively and that 21 Savage didn't completely overshadow Post Malone somehow. But I guess that beat hits the spot sometimes. I'm not really sure why. I do admit it's not as good as it could be. Some roaring guitars, sustains every now and again could really do this song wonders, I swear. But as it is, I'm still fine with the product. Sure.
They don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary.
I still don't hate this.
I get it, Kodak Black is a terrible human being who's trading rape charges like it's nothing on this song, but I'm able to ignore that because I really like this beat.
I just wish that any other rapper was on this song because this beat is great.
The flutes are gorgeous and complement the trap percussion better than they have any right to. It's catchy and energetic unlike the other flute-heavy Metro Boomin beat from this year. I stand by those statements hardcore. This bangs.
And there goes my credibility. I probably shouldn't even check the comments on this one.
Please have mercy on me. Take it.
Still don't hate it, but There's Nothing Holding Me Back has made this pretty much useless to me.
She gon' rake it up, tell the nigga pay up.
I'm sure if I combed through this song a third time, I could find even more embarrassing lines, but almost everyone has had this song on their worst list, so just seek those out instead. I'm done talking about this piece of nothing.
17.5, same color t-shirt, white.
Worthless. I figured this would be my most controversial pick for the best list, mostly because I've seen it on a handful of worst lists. Because of that, I have picked up on a few reasons people don't like this song, with the repetition of the word thunder on the chorus being the most prevalent complaint.
Thunder, feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder. You know what? Fine. Fair is fair, but here's my rebuttal.
This is a song that lives and dies on its atmosphere and progression. It works for me because of the way that it seamlessly transitions from a simplistic bouncing bass to a richer, more potent sound on the chorus. And that does include the repetition of the word thunder, both in the backing vocals and from Dan Reynolds. It's built to be a transcendent experience, and that's why I personally feel like the repetition is warranted. It feels good to have powerful imagery to go with the climax of your song and just let it envelop you.
And what a note to end the first half on. Next video is going to be 50 to 1, so take care.